All right, episode 12 of the Simple Kicking Podcast. What better than to have a Pac-12 roundtable?
Testing.
I've got Blake Mazza and Peyton Henry from Washington State and the UDub Huskies.
Right, episode 12.
Thank you so much for joining, guys.
Kicking
Podcast. What better than to have a Pac-12?
I'm hearing you through my AirPods.
Okay, you shouldn't hear me anymore now.
Okay, cool. I was like, that was messing with me. What's up, everybody?
What's
Blake
up?
Mazza.
Peyton Henry.
We'll go ahead and get this thing started with the first question. Guys, in 2019, y'all were the most improved kickers in the Pac-12. What happened?
I did not know that.
I mean, either I don't know. I would just say
Cool.
just the year after a season that we weren't really happy with. Just wanting to get better, do better, and work on things that maybe weren't working so well year before, and take that and use that as motivation to go out the next year and do better. Have a better season and just overall improve on the year we had before.
Yeah, for sure. For me personally, like I changed my whole approach and mentality to the game. Like I came as a freshman, I came with a little bit more confidence and tried going out with a little swag to me or something. Just didn't fit my personality. I had some big kicks though, and this season just like tried to really dumb it down and keep it cool, calm, and collective, and just have some fun with it. And I mean, my approach to each kick was like, if I miss it, it's not the end of the world. There's more to life than football. And for me, that helped a lot.
So on one end, you have super hard work, coming nose to the grindstone, which, by the way, is a great song by Tyler Childers, if you like country. But on the other end, we've got a mentality shift.
Completely. I think my work ethic didn't change at all. I think I can agree with what Peyton said. I had some moments where I wasn't happy with my kicking, and I missed some kicks in my redshirt freshman season that I should have made, and took that into the off season, but also worked on the mental aspect as well and completely changed my game. It's something I'm going to transition over into my next couple of years.
Yeah, definitely mentality. You gotta have that right mentality. It's college football is a lot different than high school football. You aren't playing in front of a couple hundred people. You're not on TV. You're on doing all these things. So you gotta just flip that switch mentally and be able to come and compete on the biggest stage, because that's it's what's needed to happen, especially at a Pac-12 Power 5 school. You got to come in and be mentally sharp and be able to make every kick, especially in big time moments, in big stadiums with lots of people in them. You got to come in and be able to do your job, or else you won't be playing there on Saturdays.
Yeah, exactly.
Big time kicks.
True. They keep you playing, that's for sure, and they keep everyone in the locker room happy. So
Why are you smiling so big, Blake?
Dude, I'm just I don't know. It's been a good day so far. Had a good workout. Leg day this morning. It's always good. Class, pretty easy day.
It's like you enjoy kicking and you enjoy the process, huh?
I do. I mean, I don't know. You gotta have fun with it. At this stage, like Peyton said, it's big time. You're playing in front of 50,000+ fans, especially when we go over to UDub. Fans are soft, Peyton.
Yeah, not at Wazoo. You're not going to get that. But
hate you. But yeah, so I mean, you gotta have fun with it. That's all you can.
Is that what happened in the mindset change? Earlier you said,
definitely.
look, I went from being serious. I mean, not serious. Went from kind of that swag I got this, to wait, I'm just having fun and there's bigger things in life than just football?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's how it was for me at least. So it was something I definitely like and definitely gonna keep working towards and just focus on the mental aspect a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely, big part of the game is mental. You got to come in to each kick and knowing that you're gonna make it, or that you can make it, or else, what's the point of going out there if you think you're gonna fail? So you definitely got to go out there with the mentality and confidence that you're gonna make the kick no matter what the situation is. Late in the game, early in the game, got to go in there and be able to do your job no matter what. You got to have the confidence to be able to do that.
Yep. Couldn't agree more.
If confidence is, let's say it's a tree, right, that is growing out of the ground, other people can see it, right? I'm looking at a tree outside my window right now. What do you have to put in order to get confidence out? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that the confidence just comes from practice and work and trusting in the process and trusting in the work that you've put towards in the weight room, on the field, because the results will follow. So I guess it's really falling in love with the process and trusting it, because once you do that, the kicks will fall through the uprights.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. If you get those reps, it'll build up that confidence. But one impression I kind of take into the games that helps with my confidence is just visualizing each kick. Each kick that I'll get in a game, right hash, left hash, middle of the field, PAT, doing that, watch, visualizing the ball going in between the uprights. That helps me a lot just because I feel like I see the kick before I even take the kick. So it's helped me a lot doing that visualization part, which, I really took seriously this past year. And I feel like it helped me out a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
Keith Duncan was the other Lou Groza finalist with you, Blake, outside of Rodrigo Blankenship, who's the starting kicker for the Indianapolis Colts. And on the Big Ten Roundtable, he talked about the exact same thing, visualizing his kicks, Peyton. What does that look like for you when you're actually visualizing these kicks? Is that something that, in the past year, when you say you've taken it seriously, what do you mean by that? What did it look like? What did it look like for you? Was there a routine behind it?
Yeah. So it's kind of like two parts. One is the night before the game in my head, just visualizing the kick. From each spot of the field, left hash, right hash, middle, PAT, all that stuff. The night before the game, just thinking about that, or just watching videos of kickers making field goals. At the highest level, NFL kickers. Some of the top college guys, and then another part to that is doing your steps on the field and not even kicking the ball, just doing your steps, getting your angles right, your steps right, getting your swing down. That's part of the visualization part that I, take pretty seriously. And I do that on the Friday walkthrough before the game, do that just to get those mental reps on the field and just visualize the whole day before, the whole night before, and even the morning of the game, visualizing each kick so I know what I'm getting before I even take the kick. And it's not even, you don't have to take, that many kicks during the week. You can, cut your reps in half and focus on the visual part as well, which is super important.
Yeah. One thing funny I actually did before each game, dude, I would put on a Robbie Gold highlight video. And let me tell you, the dude's got some gnarly highlight videos. Smooth as anything, but I did that before every game.
Yeah.
What do you notice about Robbie that makes you want to watch a highlight film?
Dude is the smoothest kicker in the NFL, and you can't even debate it. I love it. Personally, I think that's where
two-step approach.
Yeah, he is a two-step approach. But I think when you're so smooth and you got that
Yeah.
confident mentality, money. That's all I can say. Money.
Who's your favorite NFL kicker, Peyton?
Mine is Giorgio Vecchio. He's been with a bunch of teams. Most recently with the Falcons, though, but he was kind of like my mentor actually kicking because he's from the Bay Area, went to Cal. And he's been with me on this whole journey and ride. You know, I've kicked with him a bunch over the years, and he's just the guy I look up to. He's a lefty as well. And he's really helped me out with, you know, stuff in life, kicking, college, all this type of stuff, because he's been through it. So he's been a super mentor for me. You know, he's become a pretty close friend as well. And yeah, he's just been super cool, super good guy. And hope he gets another shot soon.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, we're talking with Peyton Henry, who's the kicker at the Washington Huskies, and Blake Mazza, who's the kicker at Washington State. And on this Pac-12 Roundtable, it's a place to mix ideas, throw them out there, share secrets, and get to know each other. Out of curiosity, when y'all play every year in the Apple Cup, the big rivalry game in the state of Washington, do you guys get a chance really much to visit with each other?
I mean, just a little before the game, yeah.
I mean, before and after the game.
Yeah.
We played there this year, and I mean, it was like a noon game, nothing crazy. And I tell you what, I will tell Peyton, props to him. That stadium is insanely hard to kick in. Like, it is just off the lake and water. It's ridiculous. I mean, I was hitting 50-yarders. I thought we're piped. I thought we're piped, and just I'd look and they'd be 10 yards right. It was insane. So props to you, dude.
Yeah, it's a pretty hard place to kick, but you know, it helps a lot just because, you know, you can go to any other place in the Pac-12. It's super easy place to kick, and you're like, wow.
Yeah, and we get some.
I appreciate, you know, kicking.
Yeah, we get some pretty crazy wins up here too. Like if we go down to California, it's easy.
Yeah, easiest place to kick for sure. Or
Arizona,
one of those schools.
Yeah.
Which makes what you guys have done in 2019 all the more impressive. You guys are combined 95% in 2019. Back to the improvement to kind of circle around this whole deal. You guys improved 25 percentage points from 2018 to 2019, playing in the most difficult conditions at least half the year in the Big 12. In the Pac-12, excuse me.
Yeah. I was talking with Keith about that at the Lou Groza award show. And me and him were just saying, like, just from what he played in Iowa, I mean, he's played in some crazy weather games. And then me and Peyton's first Apple Cup at WSU.
Yeah,
Blizzard. I kid you not. You can check out my Instagram. There's a photo I posted. Worst kicking conditions ever. I mean, I'm not even exaggerating. Like 3 inches of snow on the ground. No joke. So we played in some pretty crazy stuff. So made us better though, for sure. No doubt.
Definitely.
But there's still something there that goes beyond just the kicking conditions. There's something that you guys are doing. Like what do you attribute all this success to? Or growth? I mean, there's high school guys that are listening that are from Southern California that have never even seen snowflakes. There's people in Texas that don't know what visualization really is. You know, you've got kids in Georgia that all they want to do is hit 50-yard bombs. So they're waiting for your next comment, Blake, to be, man, I can hit it from 60. I'm waiting for him to talk about that 60 bomb, that 60 piece. You know, there's young kickers out there. What's the advice to those guys?
Shoot. I think if you probably looked at Peyton and I's stats, I mean, even all college guys, majority of our kicks are inside of 45 yards. I've had 4 50-plus yarders. And one thing I've noticed, and I see a lot of people do this, is kickers tend to swing 50 times harder when you have a deeper field goal. And the result, I promise you, every time is not near as consistent as when you're inside of 45 yards. And I think just like that mentality of no matter the distance, no matter the hash, like same kick. The goalposts don't get any thinner. It's same field, same ball. And I don't know. I think Peyton and I have grown in that aspect a lot since our freshman year, just in that way. What do you think, Peyton?
Yeah, I mean, I always see kickers, posting on Twitter, Instagram, I hit the 65-yard field goal. And I'm like, that's great and all, but you're never going to attempt that in a game. Should probably focus on, 45, 40 and in, so that you work on that consistency, because once you get inside the 40-yard field goal, those should pretty much be automatic at this level, or else you probably won't be kicking for your team. So, let's focus on, those closer field goals. That's the majority of the ones you'll get in the game. You're never going to, maybe you'd get that super deep one at the end of the half. But, I would focus on, the closer kicks so you're consistent and, just because that's what the coaches are looking for. They're not looking for the 65-yard field goal. They're looking for 40 and in. Can you be money on those ones? Can you be 100% on those? And if you're not, then, they won't really put that full faith and trust in you.
Yeah, for sure. I think one thing I actually did in season last year was I would divide up my practices. So like Mondays, I would be inside of 35 yards. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I would be 35 to 55. And I divided up in that aspect and took that into my training in the off season, just to kind of like mix it up and make sure that I was kicking the same way, no matter the distance. And shoot, I think if younger kickers who are listening tried it, I think you'll definitely see some results. Divide up your workouts, change up your regimen. I mean, it can't hurt.
Yeah, I mean, even with that, you don't have to go out and kick that many, balls in a day during a week, especially during game week. I only kick in practice 2 days a week during game week. That's compared to my first year I started, which I was kicking every day of the week leading up to the game, even Fridays before the game. And I think a big part even of my success this past year was just, taking less reps and focusing on them even more. So it's more like quality over quantity. You don't want to be kicking a ton of balls. You want to be fresh for the game on Saturday. Don't want to be burnt out, so you got to just take those reps seriously that you get in practice, and the ones that you hit before warming up, just make sure they're quality. You don't have to hit 100 balls a day.
Exactly.
Dude, 95% of y'all's kicks came from outside of 50 yards.
Outside.
Yes. And this is taking both of y'all's stats from 2018 and 2019. All right. There was 4 kicks. And Peyton, you had all of those 50-plus yard attempts. Okay. From 40 to 49 yards, okay, there was a total of 12 attempts between the two of you over the last 2 years, between 40 and 49. From 30 to 39, you guys had 32 kicks from 30 to 39 yards. That's what that was attempted. That's 40% of y'all's in-game kicks were from 30 to 39 yards.
Yeah, makes sense.
There's something to be said about having quality kicks from realistic distances.
For sure. I mean, last year, I think I had 13 or something in between 30 and 39. And that number just goes to show that when I see these kids in 7th grade, 8th grade, trying to hit these 60 yarders, whatever, it's cool. It looks good for Instagram. It looks good for Twitter. But I'm going to tell you right now, like, that's not going to win you the job when you get to college. It's completely different. I mean, the big legs get cool and all, but consistency is what's going to keep you the job.
Okay, so that's you just answered the question I was going to ask you guys both. Tyler Brown, who's the special teams graduate assistant at the University of Michigan, distinguished the difference, in his opinion, from getting a job versus keeping a job. Blake, your answer is consistency. That keeps you the job. Peyton, what has kept you your job as the kicker for the UW Huskies?
Yeah, like Blake said, consistency is a huge thing because that means you're consistent. The coaches trust you; they'll put you out there for a kick. And if you're not consistent, then you're probably not going to be the guy. But and also another thing that would keep you a job is competing every day, no matter what. Whoever else is on the roster, you got to compete every day. Make sure you go out, have that mentality that you're going to be the best guy on the team, that you're going to make every kick, that you're going to, beat out the guy who's coming for your job, because every year they'll bring in a guy, to come in and try to take your job, all that stuff. But once you learn how to compete with yourself and others, just have that mentality and you're consistent, then you'll keep that job for as long, as you're there.
That was a perfect answer.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, seriously. That was perfect.
But Peyton, you know what it's like to have your job on the fringes, hanging by a thread, being in difficult situations.
What was the last part? Hold on. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, it's okay. I'm saying, but in terms of consistency, in terms of competing and keeping your job, there was a scenario where your job was on the fringes, in jeopardy of being not your job anymore, being someone else's.
Yeah, I never thought about it as like that. So, I mean, it's a whole mentality thing that you got to just go out and compete with yourself to want to get better every single day, or else that person will take your job. But if you show the coaches, that it's your job to keep and that, no one's going to take it from you, you got to have the mentality, they'll put your full trust in you and, won't let that happen. But, it's one thing that I kind of take into it is like, fear of like failure. You don't want to let yourself down, don't want to let others down. So you got to just work your butt off so that doesn't happen. You don't want to let yourself down, lose that job to someone else. You want to be able to, keep that and be the guy. That's why you came to college. That's why you walked on. That's why you stayed there to compete, and you didn't give up, to anybody. You just want to compete. Keep your job, be consistent, work hard, so it doesn't happen.
Do you think you have a walk-on mentality, that feeling that maybe you're not good enough because you were a walk-on once upon a time?
No, I never thought that. I was always competing with guys who are on scholarship or, even weren't on scholarship. But, it's kind of a good mentality to have, because if you come in there thinking you're the guy and, walk on, then you probably won't, be there for very long. So you gotta come in there, be ready to work, not get much recognition. And then when your number's called, be able to come hit that field goal. Because, as a walk-on, maybe you won't get as many reps in practice. And then all of a sudden you're competing for the job. You're going to be able to beat out other guys on scholarship or, guys who want to come compete for the job. So you got to have that mentality no matter what.
Blake, what about you? Once upon a time, you weren't at Washington State.
Yeah, so pretty much out of high school, I went to the University of Arkansas, walked on there. I had a preferred walk-on, and knew the senior kicker, thought it was the place to be. Ended up our coaching staff got fired and didn't enjoy the university enough and didn't feel like that was where I needed to be. So I got back in touch with WSU, who talked to me in high school, and they were graduating their senior kicker, Eric Powell, And I told the coach, I was like, I'm going to compete my butt off to replace this guy. WSU's had some really good kickers. One guy, Jason Hansen, big name in kicking right there, who's from WSU. And I know UW's had some great kickers too. So I think I told them and told myself, I was like, I committed without a visit to WSU. I trusted myself that much. And I knew my work ethic and I knew the talent that I had. And I put all my chips on the table and flew up there from Dallas, Texas, and just crazy snow weather, and worked my butt off through spring, summer, got to fall camp and performed and stayed consistent. And it ultimately got me the job my redshirt freshman year. And since then, it's been history.
This is Blake Mazza. He's the kicker for Washington State. He was a Lou Groza finalist last year, and Peyton Henry, who is the kicker at the University of Washington. This is the Apple Cup podcast, episode 12 of Pac-12 Roundtable, whichever you want to call it, whatever flavor you desire. This so far, what we've talked about, guys, is the mindset. We've talked about competing. Let's talk about some stories, man. Let's talk about some kicks that really come to for you, whether it's a high school kick or preferably one in college. Is there anything that sticks out to us, either of you?
For a good kick for me, I guess, would be a Cal game last year. It was a crazy game. It was like a 7:00 kickoff in Seattle. All of a sudden starts thunder and lightning. It was like I don't even know how long delayed. The game gets over at 2:00, but I came to go 4 for 4. Last minute of the game, I hit a 49-yarder to give us the lead. Ultimately lost, but that kick kind of earned me a scholarship. So that one kind of comes to mind when I think of stuff like that.
So what time, not in game time, what time in real time was it, Pacific, when you kicked that 49-yarder?
Might have been like 1:00 in the morning.
Dude, was that the first one?
Pretty late, I guess, for a college football game.
That's ridiculous.
Was that the first one kick you've ever had?
Yeah, I'd say so.
So it's a 49-yard kick after thunder and lightning in Berkeley, and you smash a 49-yard kick as a left-footed kicker. Is that coming from the left hash or the right hash?
It's coming from the left hash.
So that's a more
probably not my preferred hash.
That's a more difficult hash for a lefty, right?
Hello?
Yep.
Yeah, I'd say so. Probably not my preferred hash, but you got to just perform when your number's called.
And you earned a scholarship. You were a walk-on before that kick. You were a scholarship guy 72 hours later.
Yes. Maybe.
Yeah. What about you, Blake? Is there any kicks that come to mind for you that like really stick out? Kind of a crazy kick.
Yeah, you actually can see one right there. It is actually my redshirt freshman year. Gardner Minshew was our quarterback, and we were at Stanford, and we were ranked 18th at the time, and they were 23 or something. And we were going there to their stadium, and I had with like 20 seconds left, I think, I had a 42-yarder to win the game. And I was a redshirt freshman, and we ended up winning it. And after that, we got moved at number 8 in the country, and eventually went to the Alamo Bowl right here and set the season in WSU history for most wins. So it was a crazy year. That's one big kick.
That is so cool. Well, we've talked about a lot tonight or this afternoon, guys. Thank you so much for joining this Pac-12 roundtable. I really appreciate it. This was a awesome episode. We're going to have to do this again. whenever the season begins, maybe an Apple Cup special.
Oh,
Sure.
things are gonna be different this year. Just wait.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Well, thanks so much for joining.
Yeah, thank you.
No, appreciate you setting this up.
All right. I'll talk to you later.